In this video, I'm going to show you how you can levitate like this. Are you curious? Cause Misa curious. Hi, and welcome to my channel. My name is Sean Misa, and I create videos about photography, videography, and occasionally do some gear review. So if you're new to this channel, consider subscribing and ring the notification bell so you can be updated when I upload new videos. So in this video, I'm actually going to show you how I took and edited this light painting photo. I've actually been implementing it a lot on my recent Instagram posts, so if you're not following me, go ahead check me out over at smisa27 on the IG, and that's where you can find a lot of my photos. I've been doing this light painting series every day. I've been posting up a new photo every day for the past couple weeks now. And in quite a bit of them, I actually have something where I'm using the levitating feature. So I'm going to show you how I did that one. It's actually very easy. And if you actually check out my Instagram, you can see some of the behind the scenes shots. So if you saw this one already, then yeah, at least you have an idea of how it was taken. So yeah, it's actually very easy to do. All you'll need is a camera, of course, a tripod or something where you can go ahead and set up the camera, and something sturdy enough to hold you. And that's about it. So the first thing you'll need to do is go ahead and take a photo of yourself on this platform. So for me, I used a stepping stool, and what I did is I wanted to kind of emulate the look of me parachuting. I don't know, something fun to do. So I took this photo, and then after you're done taking that photo, you take the base photo, which is going to be the photo where you have nothing in there. No objects, no you, just the background. And that's this. And then after that, you go ahead and, if you want to go ahead and do like what I did, the light painting photos, then you can go ahead and implement that one. You can check out the link right over here. There's going to be a link over here so that we can go ahead and see how to do light painting. Again, that one's also very easy. You need just a little key light and a creative mind to go ahead and just draw whatever you want. So all right, let's go ahead and bring these photos into Photoshop. So now I'm on my computer and I have the photos saved here. So I had the photo of where I'm on the stair step stool thingy, and then I have the parachute. Then of course I have the base photo that I mentioned earlier. Then I have the string for the left side or to the right side, whichever, and then the string for the other side. Then I have a blue background, so that way I can actually have my sky have kind of a bluish tint to it. Then I have some cloud elements, some more upper clouds, and kind of like this whoosh. That way you can kind of, get the feeling of being whooshed while I'm on the parachute going down. So let's see. First thing we'll do is we'll go ahead and load up Photoshop, and we'll load the base photo on there. So we'll pop that into there. So now I have my base photo, and then after that I'll just load everything else. So I'll go ahead and drop them all into here and accept them. And then the first thing I like to do is actually like to go ahead and create the masks for all of them, so that way I don't have to go into each one of them later on and then turn on the masks. So I'll go to this, and then again, the mask is this little icon right here at the bottom. It's kind of a rectangle with a circle in the center. So adding a layer mask to that, adding a layer mask to every layer beneath, including the photo of me. So we gotta add the mask there. And then what the next thing I like to do is I like to go ahead and name my layer, so that way I know exactly what layer I'm on, and if I need to find out quickly what layer I need to get to, I know where it is. So we'll name this one whoosh. This one will be the upper clouds. This will be the lower clouds. This one will be sky blue. String right. String left. shoot and me. We'll just name this one background. Okay, so now that we have all these layers done, if you saw my last video, again, I'll go ahead and link that one right up top here. That one is going to show you what was it? Yeah, how I edited my other photos. So if you watch that other one, you'll at least have an idea of what my thought process is and how I edit the photos, along with the masking, with the whole reversing, etc. But I'll still relay everything again, just in case you haven't seen it. Okay, so now we have that photo selected. What I'm going to do is I am going to paint myself to hide myself. So I have my layer selected and I have the mask box selected. You can tell by these little arrows, I mean not the arrows, but this other outside box on this sheet. After that, we'll go to the brush tool right up here. That one is a brush tool. Shortcut is also, the shortcut is B, if you can see it right there. Yep. So there's B. And then right now we have the white and the black. And remember, white reveals, black hides. So it's just like basically the shadows. You're hiding in the shadow or you're being seen in the light. Okay, and then if you want to go ahead and switch between the two different colors, you just tap X and now it shows the black on top, and press X again. Now you have the white on top. And oh yeah, another thing is, let's say you do have other colors selected. So let's say I have, let's say I have, oh, actually, you know what? I forgot. In the mask, it only shows black and white colors, or not black and white, but the grayscale colors. So let's say you do have these gray colors on here for some reason. You accidentally got them there. A quick way you can get it so that way this is back to the black and white default is the way you can get it back to the whole black and white default is if you press D. If you do that, that's D for default. So now you have the white on top, black on bottom, but because I want to hide me, let's go with the black on top. Then we'll go ahead and zoom into, too much. Zoom into my photo here. And zoom out a little bit. Get my brush tool. And then for Mac, it's going to be the Command Option, and then click drag left and right. And then on Windows, I believe it was the Alt, and then right click, drag left and right. Yeah, I'll go ahead and put the right. I'll go ahead and put the correct one up on the screen here. I think here, one of them. You'll see a little pop-up and it will say what the correct code is. So yeah, or the correct keystroke. All right, so now that I got me selected and then my brush, let's go ahead and get to painting me away. And with this one, you don't want to hurry too much, so you don't want to get that big giant paintbrush. I like to go ahead and make sure I'm a little bit more detailed to make sure that I am not going over too much, because I don't want to put more work where I don't need. All right, then after you're done selecting yourself and hiding yourself, you are now invisible. So after that, you go back into the layer where the mask is. So you can see I'm selected here, and then press Command I on Mac and Control I on PC. So there we go. Now you're levitated up in midair. And that's pretty much as easy as it is. If that's all you wanted to do, if you just wanted to go ahead and levitate, that's pretty much it. Though I would go ahead and go back in here a little bit more and just start cleaning up so you don't see any of the leftover pieces that you may have missed. That's why it's good to make sure that when you take your base photo at the same exact exposure, shutter speed, etc. That way you don't have to worry too much about like the difference in how dark or how light the background is compared to yourself. Oh yeah, and also another tip I would recommend in taking these photos is to make sure you do have your what's it called? Your focus set to manual, because you don't want your focus to be on you when you're there, and then when you're gone, the background changes to be in focus. Because when you do that, then you can get into a little bit of trouble, and then having to try and deal with the right focus in post later on, it's going to be a little bit more difficult just because you're going to have different focal length, or not focal length, but different focal point. Last time I was editing this one, I did use my iPad, but this time I actually wanted to go ahead and use pretty much the same tools that you would have if you don't have an iPad, just to show you that it's possible to do this without those tools. You can do this simply with a mouse. You know what, that looks pretty good. I think I'm pretty much done with me now because I'm pretty much in mid-air floating, and that's it. And then if you did want to go ahead and just like have this one as your main photo or your only photo, just you levitating, one thing I would do is, because on the ground now you don't see any shadows, obviously it looks like you're kind of photoshopped into there. So what I would like to do is I would create another layer, and then for this one I would do Shift Delete or Shift Backspace, and then I would do fill as 50% gray. If you do that, now you have this. Of course, now you're seeing, now you can't see anything. After that, you go to overlay. Okay, now it's completely gone. Hold on. So if you go over here, you'll see the where is it? The smudge, the burn tool. The burn tool and the dodge tool. The burn tool is going to make things a little bit darker. It's going to shade it, and then the dodge is going to brighten it up. So let's go ahead and show you what it does. So if I were to go here, and let's say I wanted to use the dodge tool, you also have what range. Do you want to go ahead and affect your shadows, your midtones, or your highlights? And the exposure, how much do you want it to be? How strong do you want it to affect your photo? So right now I'm just going to go for midtones, just so you can see an example of it. And now if we go here, I lightened up the area. And what I'm doing is I'm lightening up the background photo without actually affecting the photo itself. Because what I'm doing is I'm affecting this grayscale. So if I go over this one again, it just goes brighter and brighter and brighter to where all of a sudden there's this giant white hot spot right in the center. So this would be cool if you wanted to go ahead and have a little bit of extra glow or extra shine. Or if I wanted, I can have, let's say, I want this light to look like it was on. Just go on it, go over it a couple times. Oops. A couple times, and then let's say I want it to look like there's a beam. And there are your beautiful beams where it looks like it's shining light on me. But that's not what I want. So, see, the nice thing about this one is because it's not actually affecting the photo underneath it, I don't have to go ahead and press Control Delete. I don't have to undo all the way till it's gone. So what you can do next is if you go on this layer and you press Control Shift again, go back to 50% gray, it fills it back with this original 50% gray, and it makes it so it's back to normal. So now, I keep on zooming in too much. So now if I go back to here, and instead I go to the burn tool, I can go over here, and there we go. I create this shadow around me. Of course, that one's a little bit too dark, so I would go back, delete that, do that again. Nice thing is you can keep on trying till you find the right look. This one, as you can see, I just realized I was under the burn tool. Under dodge tool. So let's go back to the shadows of the burn tool, and so you can see how this one affects the photo. That one looks a little bit better, just because what it's doing now, it's affecting the shadow portion, so the darker portions of the photo, as opposed to having that 50%, the middle area. And then if you change the range to the highlights, it's going to affect the really bright areas. So if I go to highlights, go underneath here, you can see that it affects the photo a little bit differently as well. And if I were to go right by the fridge, I can make the fridge area just a little bit darker. and it won't make it look that up. I mean, if I go right now, you can see how much different it looks with the different ranges. So I would just experiment, try and find the right look for yours, depending on what background you have or depending on what your base photo is. But since that's not what I'm trying to do, I'm floating in air, you're not going to really see a shadow because it's supposed to be like I'm flying above this hardwood forest, which is what I named this photo. Parachuting, I think I named it parachuting. Yeah, parachuting over hardwood forest. So I can go ahead and go back to delete that photo, and let's go ahead and insert the rest of my, actually, you know what? Before I do, what I want to do is I just want to clean up this photo so I can hide this light and hide that smoke detector so that has a little bit of a cleaner photo. I'm going to go to my background layer. I'm going to go to this tool, which is the patch tool, and patch tool. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just draw around the light and the shadow around it and just drag it right about there. There you go. And now the light is gone. I remember before this actually used to be a lot harder in the older Photoshops. But Photoshop has just gotten so smart now. It's so much easier. I can do these things a lot quicker. And there you go. Now the light and the smoke detector is gone. If I wanted, I can clean it up a little bit more. I can, woo! Yeah, too small. Let's go ahead and remove that. And there you go. I can remove those things. And there you go. Now I have a little bit cleaner photo to work with. So now that I'm on here, let's go ahead and add the parachute. And when I add the parachute, of course, it's just going to be the light that's showing because I wanted it to be really dark, and I wanted the light to really show its saturation, the color. So by making it darker in the photo, it kind of helps pop out the color a little bit more. So after I'm done doing that, I'll go ahead and change this one to lighten because I like the way that one looks. And now it just keeps the light, hides all the dark stuff, and that's pretty much it. Got the same thing for string left, lighten, string right, lighten. And since these ones go over the parachute, what I want to do is I want to take this paracord and cut it down. So I'm going to go ahead and go to that mask tool, B for the brush, and paint those away. There's paracord left, and here's a paracord right. And you know what? I want it to look like I am holding on to this, so I do not want this to be in front of my hand. I'm going to edit it so it looks more like it's behind. Oh yeah, another thing is while you're on this one going left and right, if you go up and down, it's going to adjust the edge sharpness. So I want this one to be a little bit more of a crisper edge just because it's hiding more behind my hand as opposed to being a gradient away. There you go. And then for this one, I forgot to do that too. There you go. And now it looks like I'm more or less holding the rope. And then we'll get the sky blue. This one, I think I liked the linear dodge. You know what? Let's go ahead and drag this one to be behind me. That way it doesn't really affect too much of my skin. And you know what? Because I forgot I should probably do the same thing like I did with the background. So I'm going to go ahead and make this. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and change this one back to normal first. I'm going to go ahead and make this light disappear. Yes, you do want to rasterize. Right now they are, if you see this icon, it means they're a smart object. If you want to know more about that one, we can later. Just for this to make this video shorter, it just means that it's not really embedded into your file. It's kind of linked out. So if you make a change to it on a raw file somewhere else, it'll make those changes back onto this Photoshop file. A quick little way. Okay, so now that I cleaned that one up, let's add me. And you know what? I realized I have this glow around me because I'm not using my regular background. Why? Because I like to make things a little harder myself. Alright, let's go ahead and get to removing more of this background from myself. Other nice beauty about masking is if you mess things up or if you go a little too far, because you're not actually deleting parts of the photo, you can bring them back just by switching it from black to white. By the way, if you do like these kinds of videos where I am showing you my whole Photoshop process, let me know in the comment section below. That way I know if I should keep making videos like this where they're super long but also very detailed and showing you my whole process in Photoshop. And depending on how detailed you want to go, you can definitely keep going, but you know what? I think that's good enough for me. Yeah, that's good enough for me since it's just going on Instagram. And it's going to be a lot smaller anyways. So now that I go back to here, I can go bring that one back to linear dodge. So I have just like this blue tint to it. Not necessarily going on full blue like it was before in that photo, but just enough of a tint. Start turning everything back on. And of course, with that one, oh, you know what? It's in front of me. I want to be in front of the cloud. Yeah. Of course. There we go. Oops. Bring that back a little bit more, and you know what? Maybe we'll have a little bit of the cloud coming through on me. So let's bring it back to a little bit lighter than that. Let's go with that. I have a little bit more dimension besides, instead of just like full on being in front of the cloud. It looks like I went through the cloud. Whoosh. There we go. So now I have that. Use that, and then we'll get the upper clouds. Turn that up. I think that looks good. And we'll add the whoosh. You know what? The whoosh isn't quite on me. So let's see if I can bring these ones down. Yeah. Let's do that. Then oops. There. A little bit of a harder edge. Do want a slightly softer edge. There we go. So it looks more like it's fading into the whoosh instead of being completely just cutting off. Whoosh. There you go. That's it. And this photo's done. See, so that actually wasn't too hard. Very easy to do. You can go ahead and make yourself levitate. You can go ahead and implement this one with your other stuff. So if you want like light painting, for example, you can go ahead and make yourself parasailing, parachuting, paragliding, pretty much anything else. And then what else? Yeah, so again, all you need literally is just a background photo. Make sure it's free and clear of you and your stand, and then you with your stand. And after that, remove it off in Photoshop and you're good to go. Oh, also, if you did want to levitate, yes, get that 50% gray and add your shadows in so you have this natural look of having a shadow casted from when you're floating. And that's pretty much it. So I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment section below and I'll go ahead and answer them for you. If you want to see more videos just like this, be sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and ring the notification bell. I know I did that backwards, but you know what to do. Go ahead and smash those buttons, hit those buttons, lick those buttons. Maybe not lick. We'll go ahead and keep it clean. But yeah. Also, if you do decide to go ahead and take some levitating photos, be sure to tag me on the IG. I am at smisa27. Now get up and be curious.